Hello everyone, my name is Connor Scott, and today I'm going to be showing you guys actually how to program your Parallax robot. And first you're going to want to go to the Parallax website, and you can see it's in the top, I will be in the description. And it's going to bring you to the Parallax website. You're going to want to click tutorials, then you're going to want to click a Cyberbot tutorial series. Now there's a lot of tutorials to scroll from to see all of them. You can look through them if you want to do different ones, but we're actually going to scroll all the way to the bottom and click Cyberbot roaming with ping. Now, this brings us to the main website for the roaming with ping one. You can see in the top left, there is different ways you can go through. And you see build a circuit, bracket, stuff like that. You can either click those to go through, or you can click the bottom where those arrows were. But actually, what we're going to be doing right now is we're actually going to open the Python editor. And you can see in the top, there is https python.microbit.org version 3. And version 2 is a little bit different from version 3, but we're going to be using version 3. You can see that it opens with this little sidebar that you're just going to click away. You don't need that one. It's going to have all this code. You just want to get rid of that because you're not actually going to need that because we're not using that type of base code yet. And you're going to actually want to open your py files. So you're going to click open. You're going to navigate to where the folder your py files, and we're going to need ping, and we're going to need cyberbot. So I'm going to just select ping. I'm just going to select cyberbot, and we're going to click open. So it's going to say add module, add module. You're going to click confirm. You'll see that it gets changed, and you can actually go to your projects on the left side, and it will actually make, just to make sure that you can actually see the cyberbot and ping. You'll see main, which is the one we're editing, cyberbot and ping.py files, which are the ones that are required for this project. And we're actually not going to need this microbit either because we're not using microbit. You're going to want to now navigate to the cyberbot ping roaming program. And you're going to see all of this big long set of code. All you're going to need to copy from is from cyberbot import all the way down to where it says print/r/r. You're going to copy that, then you're just going to paste it right at the top, and you're going to see it says big line of code. You'll see the cyberbot and ping import that comes from your projects area, and you're also going to see this little distance error when you scroll down. We don't actually have to worry about that because the code we're using and the designing we're doing doesn't really matter because it just has really no input on what's going on. And there's also some things that we can edit. If you scroll up, you can see bot server speed WL and WR. You can also change the speed, you can change the distance, and these are actually the wheels, so left wheel and right wheel. You can change the sleep, and you can also change the sleep for the servos, which is actually the eyes that we're going to be using. Changing the sleep basically makes it, if it's a lower sleep, it's going to be spinning faster. Same with the wheels. If it's a higher sleep, it's going to take a little bit longer for that camera to turn or for the wheels to turn as well. Now you're just going to want to name your project. I just named it Cyberbot, and you can name it whatever you want. And we're actually going to save it now just to make sure that we have it. If you click the save right away, it saves it as a hex file. But if you click the three dots and then click save as Python script, that actually saves it as the py file just like the other two. And this makes it so you can just edit it later. It's just better than having it as a hex file because you can't really do much with a hex file. And if I open the folder here, you'll see that I actually have the cyberbot main py file, and I'm actually just going to copy this into where all my other Python files are just to have it a little bit organized because I don't want everything floating around in my downloads folder. And you can see that I just copied it and then just pasted it right into here. And here's some other stuff. You can see that's just where all the Python stuff is. Now I'm actually going to show you guys how to build your robot. Now if you actually see in this video, we have the silver backplate, we have the two sensors, we have a bunch of screws that comes with your kit. There's big screws that are like silver, there's little smaller silver screws, then there's the nylon screws, there's the motor, which actually has that black thing that you're actually going to take off by unscrewing it and then just pulling it right off, and you have a wire. So first, we're actually going to take that silver backplate, the nylons pieces, and the motor. You're going to take the nylon screw, place it in the top right of the servo sensors. Then you're going to place that cylinder right in the back of that. Then you're actually going to place it in the long head, the T part of the backplate, and place the washer right behind it. You can either use a screwdriver or you can just use your fingers to tighten it. As long as you make sure that it is tight, because if it's not tight, it can come undone and stuff. As you can see here, I'm tightening it, and then I use a screw actually to tighten it afterwards. And you're basically just going to do it for this part, and then you're just going to do it again. You'll see now that we have this part, it's it's all tight and secured. I can spin it around and it doesn't come loose or anything. And we have the second nylon screw, which is going to go in the same place that the other one was, just in the bottom left. And then you're going to place a screw, then the cylinder, then the washer. But make sure that you put it behind the black plate again. And now you can just see I'm tightening it again. And make sure that when you put the sensors in, that the pins are actually facing down, those little pins right in the middle, because that's actually where we're going to be running the wire through. So if they were facing upwards or something, it would still technically work, but it wouldn't work as well. It's just better to have the pins like that. And you can see I'm just tightening the screws just a little bit to make sure everything's all good to go. And now we can actually take that black thing that we had earlier, and you can see if you go 2 up from the middle on 2 different sides, just use like an X-Acto knife or a screwdriver just to make those holes a little bit bigger, because we have to put them right there in that silver back plate, right on the bottom. And that's actually where we're going to fit the smaller silver screws. So you can see here I'm grabbing the smaller silver screw, putting it inside of that hole, and then I'm going to be putting it on top of that little the little spinny thing, or inside the little spinny thing. And then I'm putting a washer right under that, just like I did with the nylon pieces, just to tighten and make sure. And you're going to do that for that side that we're doing right now, and then you're going to go diagonally to the other side, so just straight diagonal, and you're going to do it on the exact same side. Now make sure that these are really tight, because these do tend to come off. So you can see here that I have both of them screwed in. I'm just screwing that one in to make sure it's tight, and I'm going to put the washer right on the bottom, and I'm going to use my finger and the screw. I use the finger just to tighten it, and then the screw to make sure that it's super tight. And this is one of the pieces that does tend to get loose if it's not tight enough, so you really have to make sure that these washers are put on good, because they can fly off, and then the motor and then the back plate can actually get loose, and it could actually fall off and start dangling with the wire, and that's not good for the wire or the pins or anything. And you're going to see next we're actually be placing it on top of the motor. Now when you place it on, you're just going to place the bottom part of it and having the back plate on top. And you're going to take that black screw that you had from before, you're just going to place it in a hole, and you're just going to screw it in. Now it's a little bit of an awkward angle due to the 2 sensors, but as long as you screw it in, you can see that it keeps going in, and it actually gets pretty tight in there. So as long as it's a good amount and nothing's going around and around, nothing's jiggling anywhere, you actually be good. Now we're actually going to take the loose wire, we're going to run it through that little hole. Now if you don't have that rubber circle where mine is, just make sure you'll have the piece, or just put it in that little socket. It's super easy to do. And you're actually going to place it from left to right, being black, red, white. And make sure to be super careful not to hit the pins, because if you bend one of the pins, it might not work. So just be super careful when you're doing that. And I'm actually spinning the motor toward the back, because when I place it on the robot, as you'll see, it has to face that way, because we need it to turn left and right. Now what you're going to do is you're going to take those little tiny black ends, and you're going to actually screw them into the bottom. It's kind of hard to see in the camera, but you can see I place it right in that black end, place the longer silver screw, then going below and placing the washers. Now I actually do this for both sides, the left side and the right side. Now if you don't have these little tiny bars that stick out, you might have to just put them in manually. You can see that one goes under the robot, and then one goes on top of that little pole on the right side where I'm screwing in. And now actually what we're going to do is, once I finish screwing this in, is we're actually going to put in the wires. Now you're going to take the top wire, and you're going to take that boy, and you're going to plug that into the bottom part. You're going to see 6 pins on the right, and you'll see when I take them, I actually plug them in. I take the wire out, I plug it into the back, where those little wires are right there, and I actually do white, red, black. So you can see that it goes white, red, black, white, red, black, white, red, black. And it's actually just like the part where you plug the pins in. You can see it's white, red, black, white, red, black, white, red, black, white, red, black. And I actually have the one plugged into the server on the top part. As you can see, the robot detects something and it turns to the left. That's because whichever sensor picks it up first will actually turn in that direction. So it picked up the left sensor, so it turned left, and if it picks up the right sensor, it turns right. Now, that is actually all for this presentation. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments below. I will be sure to help you. My name is Connor, and thank you for watching.